Hello friends, I hope you're having a fantastic day. I wanted to start a new series talking about my t-shirt line based off of the designs that are on my clothing line, I should say. It's not really a t-shirt line anymore, but my design line, because I am branching out into things other than clothing. So basically I wanted to be able to come on here and make some videos talking about these specific designs and what they mean to me. As most of you are aware, I create these designs with something in mind, but obviously they're open to interpretation. So they could mean one thing for me and something completely different for you, and that's totally fine. I just thought it'd be a great idea to kind of give you my side of the story and what I am thinking behind creating these specific things. So welcome to part one. Before we really get started, I just wanted to say thank you so much for being so generous and buying me a coffee. I announced yesterday on yesterday's video that I had the buy me a coffee link down in the description. And I have my clothing shop down in the description, as well as the $50 off of the Heavy Metal Detox. You have to put my name in the reference when you check out, but just wanted to make you aware that all of those links are down in the description in every video. So moving right into it, the first one I wanted to talk about, which is honestly my favorite, one of my favorite designs, because it is based off of a theory that has resonated with me for years now and is absolutely so important, I believe, with where we are today in the world. And it is, excuse my stains on my shirt, but the butterfly effect. So this shirt simply says in script, the butterfly effect. And then we have the butterfly on the back that is overlapped on top of each other because I wanted it to kind of represent the phasing in dimensions. And kind of like the representation of timelines and your choices. So the reason why the butterfly effect has resonated with me for so many years now is because of when I essentially started my awakening process. I started very much so in the religious world, waking up in a spiritual kind of way. And that's not to say that I completely don't believe everything that I used to believe about God and Christian moral principles and whatnot. I totally have a lot of those things still there and still are very much part of my, who I am. But they have kind of developed and changed and grown and expanded over the last couple of years in different ways than a lot of people that were in the same circle as me in that time. So I was introduced to the idea of the butterfly effect. I believe I was watching a YouTube video one day and it was about quantum physics or quantum mechanics or something, because I'm slightly a nerd and I like those things. I find them super interesting. But I was listening to it and it was talking about how there is this idea that the smallest thing, like a butterfly, the flapping of its wings can create a hurricane thousands of miles away. Just essentially like the ripple in the pond when you throw a pebble and it goes and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and ever expanding until it becomes this giant beast of a ripple, basically. And the reason that I liked that explanation was because it put such responsibility on me and my choices. And as a teenager, that's not something that I just saw 444 on my camera. Anyways, as a teenager, that is not something that you would think would be motivating, because most teenagers completely run from responsibility these days. But I have always had this innate knowing and understanding that I was here for a purpose and that I was here for something greater, and that I had a responsibility to figure out what that was and to be all that I could be. That's a pretty heavy load for a child/teenager, but I just always knew that about myself. Whether you believe that that is from, you know, being here multiple times, like saying I'm an old soul or whatever, or, you know, just what I signed up for before I came here. Who knows? I don't know to this day. I don't know yet. Probably will in the future. But I just had this innate sense of I am responsible for something so much bigger than myself. And when I heard the butterfly effect, or the butterfly effect theory, it resonated with me so deeply that it's something that I think about continuously. I learned recently also that each person has their generations inside of them. Like, you know, the eggs that I carry are part of the generations that I have inside of me for as long as my generations continue. And it's the same with a man. It's not just a woman thing. And so basically, in the spiritual realm, you've got all of these people that came before you watching you. But then whatever you do is directly affecting the generations that go after you, because they are with you. They are present with you with all of your choices. That's some responsibility right there. And that is kind of a heavy topic and a heavy concept to think about. But I think if more people thought like that, our world would not be the way it is today. And we would have so much more of a sense of self and who we are and responsibility and purpose that, you know, people would feel more alive. There's this dumb idea that seems to be creeping up more and more with every generation that what I do doesn't matter. And, you know, my actions don't affect anybody. And that is just the biggest bunch of BS I've ever heard. Ever heard. Me, as someone that has been working on myself and clearing out my generational line from the people that have gone before me and not made great decisions or acted certain way towards people. You could call it clearing karma, like whatever you want to call it. I call it cleansing out my DNA. Like, as a person like that, I am so hyper aware, and sometimes a little bit too aware, that everything I do, that every choice I make is affecting someone, somewhere, in some way. And yes, that is a whole lot of responsibility, but it's also super empowering for me to think that I am making great choices with some things, and it's a learning curve for the terrible choices that I do make sometimes, because we all do. Not gonna say that I, you know, am great at making good choices, but I definitely try. I definitely think about situations and circumstances in the best way that I possibly can and do what's best for me and for others if it's possible. This is not to say that you are responsible for everyone, but the thing is, if you take responsibility for yourself and everyone did that, then there would be no need to be responsible for everyone else, because everybody would be taking care of themselves. It's kind of like the whole idea of, you know, if we all focused inward in healing ourselves and healing everything that makes us act certain ways, react, triggers us, whatever, then the world would therefore reap the rewards of our hard work. And I think of it the same thing as being very aware of your choices that you make, and very aware when you are wrong, admitting that you're wrong, and being okay with that. So when I wear this shirt, which I do wear it, as you can see, I already have stains on it. When I wear this shirt, that is what I think of. When I design this shirt, that is what I think of. And the reason the butterfly is kind of phasing in and out of dimensions is because it is it's not just a physical thing, it's very much a dimensional, spiritual, physical, universal thing. If a butterfly's wings can create a tsunami, what can your thoughts do? Or your words? Or your intentions? Or your anger, or your excitement, or your positivity, or your negative? What can those things do? If something this big can create a tsunami in the physical world, what could your thoughts and intentions and ideas create in a spiritual, physical world also? It's kind of how I think about it. So this shirt is a great reminder. I love it in this burnt orange color. It's great for the fall. But, it's one of those things that, like, the people that know this theory, you know, kind of thing. And when you know better, you do better. And as we are walking our way into perfection, because I'm not gonna say we will never be perfect, because I totally believe eventually we could be. We have that opportunity. But it takes a lot of work. Because I believe the whole reason that we are in this physical realm, in this physical body, is essentially to overcome. To overcome the darkness, the corruption and decay and death as these eternal spiritual beings. We were put into a physical body that has such capacity for light and perfection, and such capacity for death and destruction. And we came into this earth to essentially learn how to conquer the death and destruction and darkness as essentially like a training ground. I don't know what else is after this, but I definitely think there's something in the sense of, don't think we're supposed to die. I just don't. That could be a whole nother video. But I don't think we're supposed to die. I don't think that was ever the intention. I think it was to overcome this body and be like one of those people that just disappears, dimensionally shifts, and takes this body with us. Because this body is not just a meat suit. It is advanced technology. So, yeah. I hope you guys like the butterfly effect t-shirt. It's definitely one of my favorites. Let me know if you would like it. I thought about putting it on other forms, like, tank tops, long sleeves, hoodies, sweatshirts. I thought about doing it on there, so let me know if you would like that, because this one is currently just on t-shirt. So if you like this one, let me know in the comments below, and go like it on my shop. It's available if you want to buy it too. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and choose wisely.